Research shows that the human body can experience an emotion for about 60 to 90 seconds. So think about it. If you're awake for about 16 hours a day, you could be experiencing between 600 to 900 different emotions. Isn't that insane?
Emotional, damn it!
But what if these emotions, both positive and negative, can actually be good for us? Hi, I'm that emo guy. Let's talk and possibly emote. Okay, welcome back. So in our last few videos, we covered changing business environments, emotions, their importance, and why there's a lack of awareness about emotions in general. If you haven't already but are interested in checking it out, links in the description below. Today, I thought it would help to understand the spectrum of emotions and how they affect behavior in the workplace. On that note, positive and negative emotions. Let's get to it. Think of positive and negative emotions as being two sides of the same coin, the coin being the human being. Both sides complement each other and are in fact necessary for survival and evolution. Positive emotions are feelings that generally make us feel good and help us grow, connect, and enjoy life, such as joy, interest, love, and contentment. In fact, these emotions do more than just making us feel good in the moment. They expand the way that we think and act. Psychologists explain this through the broaden and build idea. When we feel positive emotions, our minds open up, making us more creative, flexible, and willing to try new things. Over time, this helps us build important life resources like strong relationships, confidence, problem-solving skills, and emotional resilience. Similarly, negative emotions are feelings that make us often feel uncomfortable, but are essential, such as fear, anger, sadness, guilt, or disgust. These emotions narrow our focus and push us to respond to specific situations. Fear prepares us to protect ourselves. Anger motivates us to address unfairness, and sadness can signal a need for rest, reflection, or support. They help us notice problems, learn from mistakes, and adapt to challenges. Emotions can't be classified as good or bad emotions. Each of them serves a purpose and helps us think, act, and interpret the world around us. A healthy emotional life depends on having both positive and negative emotions and learning how to understand and regulate them rather than trying to just be happy all the time. So the next time one of your team members, friends, or family is expressing their negativity, think of it like evolution playing out right in front of you. Although some people might be evolving a little too much.
Damn!
Now, let's take a look at how these emotions can impact our behavior in the workplace. In the workplace, positive emotions tend to broaden how we think and act, leading to behaviors which can improve our performance and collaboration. For example, interest and curiosity encourage learning and problem solving, while joy and enthusiasm increases motivation and energy. Gratitude and pride strengthen teamwork by improving trust, communication, and willingness to help others. When employees regularly experience positive emotions, they are more likely to take initiative, think creatively, adapt to change, and build strong professional relationships, all of which lead to better outcomes such as higher productivity, innovation, and job satisfaction. Likewise, while negative emotions feel unpleasant, these emotions can also influence workplace behavior in meaningful ways. Stress and anxiety can increase focus and urgency, pushing people to meet deadlines or avoid mistakes, while frustration and anger can motivate individuals to address inefficiencies or unfair treatment. However, when negative emotions are intense or prolonged, they often lead to harmful behavior such as avoidance, conflict, burnout, reduced creativity, and poor decision making. This is why negative emotions are best understood as signals rather than failures. They highlight problems that need attention. Managing and regulating these emotions help organizations prevent long-term damage while still benefiting from the information they provide. Simply put, there are two things to keep in mind. 1. We shouldn't discourage negative emotions in the workplace. They have their purpose and positive outcomes too. After all, pressure makes diamonds. But as we have covered, prolonged negative emotions can cause long-term harm, just like over-baking a cake or over-watering plants. Hence, moderation and recognition of stress versus overstress is very important. In fact, recognition of any emotion versus too much of it is very, very important. If you don't know where to start, go back to the infographic and check whether you, your colleagues, or your reportees exhibit any of the prolonged negative influences. 2. Positive emotions have positive outcomes, both short and long term. And we should try to move people from a negative or neutral emotional state to a positive emotional state if we are looking to influence positive outcomes in the workplace. But just like with negative emotions, moderation is key. Overdoing it can create a workplace of toxic positivity where people are discouraged to not feel negative emotions and force themselves into a positive state, which never works and often backfires because emotions are meant to be felt and processed through. That's like expecting a child to become a professional football player without any experience coaching or training. Ludicrous. Okay, I want to take a pause here. Originally, I also wanted to cover how to control your emotions, or actually not, and also talk about common misconceptions about emotions. But I have a feeling the video will get a little too long. So instead, I'll cover those topics in the next two videos. But in the meantime, I would love to field a few questions or doubts around emotions, both positive and negative. Okay, when do negative emotions become a problem? I think negative emotions become a problem when it tends to fester inside of us and we're not actively doing anything except wallowing in our own self-pity. The reason is that we don't tend to introspect enough to understand exactly why we're feeling that way and eventually reach a stage of acceptance from which we can figure out, okay, now that I'm feeling this way, how do I move forward from here? Question 2. Why do I sometimes feel negative emotions even when things are okay? Oh man, yeah, tell me about it. I think human beings are generally wired to tend to lean more negatively than we do positively. I don't think that's a result of just what human beings are. I think that happens a lot because of the environment around us. I mean, just think about yourself today and all the news you're consuming, the people that you're talking to, the kind of work environment that you're in. We're constantly being drip fed this negativity around us. And that's fine. It's normal. It's totally normal to feel a little negative when you're constantly drowning in a sea of negativity. But if you are feeling that negative all the time, I would recommend trying to find things that help you feel positive. For a person like me, for example, music works really well. When I listen to music, or I play games, or I talk to my friends or my family, that puts me in a positive space, and I'd encourage you to find your own positive space. Question 3. What's the difference between feelings like stress, anxiety, and fear? There's no difference really. It always tends to address the same things with human beings. For humans, it's all about survival. The way that we are wired, in fact, any animal, the way that any animal is wired is to focus on trying to do the things that enable them to survive the most. So stress, for example, why do I get stressed? It's probably because I think I have to do a good job. Why do I need to do a good job? Because if I don't do a good job, I might be out of a livelihood. And if I'm out of a livelihood, that will threaten my ability to survive. Anxiety. Why do I get anxious? Because I think I may not do a good job. Why is that a problem? Because again, it threatens my ability to survive. And fear, it's the same. They all tend to go towards the root of what we are feeling, which is that emotion. So the way in which it manifests within us might be slightly different, but they tend to all progress towards trying to protect us from extinction. Question 4. Why do some emotions feel so strong in my body? Like my heart starts racing when I get scared, etc. Okay. Well, anything that directly contradicts with your beliefs, values and experiences and also the ability to survive. These four things, when something attacks this, it tends to come out more strongly the response from us at least, towards that particular thing that we're responding to. For example, let's say I have a very strong belief in my religion. If someone attacks my religion, it could be something that triggers me very easily and makes me feel the emotion of attack against, which is again, the first thing that happens when a person is attacked is they put their shields up. And when you put your shield up, sometimes you have the ability to respond to it, sometimes you react to it. And when you react to it, sometimes it comes out a little stronger, depending on your ability to process the thought and the emotion before you're actually responding to the stimulus. So that is why sometimes emotions feel much stronger than other things that we tend to respond to. Well, that's it from me for this one. If you've been with me so far, then I'm very grateful for your time. If you enjoyed the content or just want to show your support, then please like and subscribe. If you have thoughts or anecdotes from the video, I'd love to hear them. Just drop them down in the comments below. If you'd like to connect or collaborate, my socials are on the screen and in the description below. I'm that emo guy, and I'll catch you in the next one.